All right.
There we
So
go.
the purpose then of today is just for me to check in, see how your group is doing, and provide any assistance specifically when it comes to the survey questionnaire you guys will be deploying, because though that needs to go out at the very latest next week. So you have at least a couple weeks to gather data before we analyze it and present it and all that. So how can I be most helpful to you guys with your topic?
Okay.
We have some very basic questions.
Okay.
The first part would be if what we're turning in, like as in like the 10 sources, are we turning that in as a group, or the scholarly sources, are we turning that in as a group,
No.
as well as the next assignments as a group,
No.
or individually?
So as I've described, and perhaps I wasn't very clear, the goal of the entire written part of this paper is completely individual.
Oh, okay.
The only thing you guys are doing as a group is picking one survey so that each of you can send out the survey to like 10, 15 people each, so that as a whole group together, you then will have a larger sample size rather than just 10 people.
Oh, okay. That is very
Everyone
helpful.
keeps freezing. I'm gonna.
If you want to just cut
I've got-
out of it, Claire, if it's not working well, I am recording this. I can send it to you as well.
I'm gonna just and I'm gonna just leave and sign back in and see if that helps after I
Sounds
close
good.
some tabs out
Okay.
really fast.
So yeah, the goal is for each of you to write it individually, find your own sources, do your own writing. Now, having said that, there is going to be some similarities. You guys are writing on the same topic. So when you
Yeah.
get to the methodology and you say, here's who I want to give my survey to, and here's how I'm going to give it, Daniel, yours is probably going to be look kind of similar to Miranda and Elmar as well, because you're using the same survey. Once
Okay.
we get to the data analysis part, once you have the data and we analyze it, and I'll help you guys out with that, that will also look very similar. But you guys
Okay.
may each have different hypotheses that you're interested in. So, or different sub-focus within that. So
Okay.
does that help that question?
Yeah, that helps a lot, actually.
Okay. Any other questions? You said you had several.
I can't, sorry, there's like, I don't know if you heard that, Claire.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just trying to get you guys to come up for me.
Yeah, you are very frozen.
Okay, share screen. It's not, okay. What?
How about you, Miranda? Anything we can help
Okay.
you with?
Can you?
Okay, so my question was just the same as Daniel's, if we were supposed to have the same survey or different, but we are supposed to have the same. So
Same survey for sure. So did you guys land on one?
Okay, so, go on.
okay, so I was trying to look for like a more professional, I guess, like one that other people have done for their papers and stuff, but I couldn't find anything that were related to ours. So Daniel and Claire were doing ones like that they created. Is that okay? Or
So yeah, that was something else I'd started talking about, I think earlier this semester, that I would advise against writing your own survey. Few reasons.
Okay.
Writing your own survey, you guys are just starting out in research methodology. It's not going to yield the kind of results we want. Plus, I want all of you to have the experience of writing about the reliability and validity of an instrument, which you will have none if you write your own, right? Like, there is no peer-reviewed research on what Claire and Daniel put together, right? That hasn't happened yet. My preference would be for you guys, there's going to be some questions you create on your own. I need to put an asterisk to that, because you're going to ask something like, what's your gender? Or how old are you? Like some demographic questions, you guys can write that out. I'm not at all worried about that. But when it comes specifically to your topic and what you're trying to find out from your topic, it needs to be something that's been peer reviewed. So for your topic,
Okay.
you guys were looking at news and hope. Tell me more about that. Like if there's an article or survey I could find on that.
Okay, so I like completely misunderstood then. Because I created like a survey and sent it out, and then okay, so for like, and I sent you an email like with it, so you saw what I was doing and all that stuff, and like made charts and stuff like that. So I guess that's just like not correct. But
Yeah, and I don't know where those emails are going, Claire, because like you and I talked about, I haven't gotten any of them.
I just sent you one like
just
at the beginning
received
of
that.
class.
Yes, that said like invitation. Contact.
Okay. Yeah.
But it's there's nothing for me to do with that. It just, that's all it says, is requesting to be
Okay.
added as a contact. Anyway,
Yeah,
maybe
I
let's
don't
solve
know
that at
what's
a
been
different
going on. I've sent you like multiple emails.
Yep. So
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I don't have an answer on that one either, but maybe you and I can connect after that. I just want to make sure we have so little time in each group that I give you guys my full attention
Right.
for that. So survey. So you
Yeah,
guys do
yeah.
not have a survey as of now.
No, just the one that like I had created, but we're gonna like wash that one then. Okay.
So what is the question you are asking? What is
So
what
like I had put forth in the survey that I'd created and then sent them was basically I was looking specifically just at does the platform you get your news source affect how hopeful or positively or negatively you feel about like the our state of our current nation, you know what I mean? And so I was kind of not focusing on like necessarily political affiliation, but just strictly on like the platform. So I was looking to see if people get like their news from links on social media, if those people answered that they were more like hopeful or hopeless or concerned about their news, like if they say they got it like, you know, mostly through social media, or if they get it mostly through the 24-hour news cycle, then how do they feel about the news and whatnot?
So
just seeing if like different.
I think there's a quick way we can do that. So one would be, where do you get your news from, and have it be a couple different options, right? You could write on there television, radio, social media, print media. Okay, so you start there, and then continue on to what is the major source of TV news, even if you want to go that deep, like which TV network do you usually get your news from? List a few networks. Which social media do you usually get your news from? List different social media. And then have an optimism scale. So, and there are tons out there, and make it short. So to see the individual's level of optimism, and then you're going to make a link. Are those who are higher in optimism, which of the ones, like we're going to look at different categories, where do they fall in that? Are they getting their news from social media? Are they getting their news from TV or from print?
Yeah, can I like show you what I have, like screen share it?
I'm not sure that that'll be beneficial right at this moment.
Okay.
Because you wrote an entire thing, which you did a ton of work, but I think if we focus instead on finding an optimism scale, and that's why I've got my other screen going here so that I can see if we can find a quick one, and then maybe reuse some of those questions that ask specifically as to where they get news from. Yes, Daniel.
Okay.
So would you recommend having a shorter survey rather than imposing kind of a more detailed grabbing survey?
Yeah, I mean,
like
definitely. We don't want a survey that's going to take people forever to take, because they're not going to take it.
Yeah.
So we want to try to be short. So I just found here The optimism pessimism instrument, the OPI, it shows you exactly, in fact, let me do this and I'm going to add it to the chat so you guys can open it. It's a strongly agree to strongly disagree scale. It has 56 questions. It's 60. If you look at those questions, the statements are super short. That should not take anybody very long. I bet you would complete this in 10 minutes. And then add on to that, I would say at most 10 questions on demographics and then their news source. Because the news source questions don't need to be very long, maybe 3 questions. And
So
then
would
you're going to
okay.
look to see, so you're going to do essentially a crosstab. Did we do a crosstab? I think we did in this class, where you're looking at people who answered social media, what was their score? Like, what was the average score on the optimism scale? Were they more optimistic? Those who said they were watching TV news, was it high or low scores? So something like
Right.
that. Did you guys see the link?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. You'll see
Okay.
lower, there's the Oxford Happiness Questionnaire. That one is only 29 questions, and there's even a short form. That could be another one that you can use. I think the optimism scale seems to tie a bit better with what you guys were talking about.
Okay. So, okay, so as I'm looking at this link that you sent, are we just, okay, so we're basically using this format, but are we just replacing the questions for the most part? Or
What do you mean by
like,
replace?
not like replacement, but like, is this kind of like, okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3, 4 for like strongly agree, strongly disagree. Are we like looking for, I guess I'm just like confused if we would be just using that as the scale. If that's what we're focused on, is the optimism pessimism instrument, is that just the scale, and then we like kind of use questions towards what we want to, towards our hypothesis? Or
No,
I guess,
so, okay.
okay,
When you do a survey, you cannot just pick and choose random items because then it invalidates the survey itself. So if you're gonna go with this one, which you don't have to, this is just one I pulled up real quick because I want to try to make the most out of our 30 minutes together. If you pick this one, you would use all of those questions. You would put it in either a Google Doc or SurveyMonkey to host your survey. You would write in exactly that. I like people I get to know. And then there would be 4 choices where it'd be strongly disagree, disagree, agree, strongly agree, or backwards.
okay,
And then you would insert in SurveyMonkey or Google Doc, whatever, however you do it, a score. They would each get a score. And you'll see at the end, there might be some that are reverse coded. There may not be actually for this one. I don't think there is. So there's none that are reverse coded. So it just tells you how the more they strongly agree. Anyway, you'll see at the top here, there's some instructions. You would include that and then include the demographic questions, male, female, gender, whatever else. And then the specific questions on where they get their news source. That would be it. All of those questions would be included. So you'd have like maybe a 65 to 70 questionnaire, 70 question survey. So that would all be written out so that you guys would then send it out to people, they would complete it, and then we'll be able to analyze it as a group.
okay.
Okay, again, it doesn't have to be that one. If you guys find another one you like better, I just thought because it addressed optimism.
Right.
And then it's actually from a peer reviewed journal. So you can then look to see what is the validity and reliability. You'll need to do some research, find out other researchers who have used the scale and what they've said about it.
Okay.
So then the goal would be to make sure that you guys have this survey all buttoned up and ready to be deployed by early next week so that you guys can be recruiting for 2 weeks for people to take your survey.
Yeah.
Or at least till you get a good number. I mean, you guys are 4. If you could each get 20, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Okay. And then Okay. So we should be using this this optimism questionnaire, and on top of, like, should we be using that questionnaire on top of a news like embedding our news source survey into that, or are we I guess using it as inspiration, taking like segments from that questionnaire, putting it into
No, so definitely if you're gonna use this one, you have to use all of it. You're not taking bits and pieces. It has to be this entire 56 question questionnaire. And if you find another one that's 25 questions, use that one, whatever. But it needs to be, we need to have it be intact. So the
Okay,
way the
gotcha.
survey was designed by the researchers, we need to use it that way. And then you're gonna use that, you're gonna get a score for that. And
Mhm.
with your full survey, you're gonna ask some demographic questions, gender, you might want to know age, you might want to know how, marital status, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then you'll want to ask some things about how they get their news, which then you can give them a few options on the different way they get their news. And if you want to take it another level deeper, you can say, when you're on social media getting your news, which social media source do you get it from? Facebook, Instagram, I picked the bad one. I don't know all the social media, LinkedIn. Or then you could do, if you get your news on TV networks, which network do you get your news from? And then have them select. So, and then after that, we're gonna analyze the data. I'll walk you through how to do that.
Okay.
Your guys' main job right now is to come together to figure out which scale you're gonna use, what are going to be your questions to ask about news source, and then what demographic questions do you care about? I would highly recommend you do gender and age for sure. If you want to do race and ethnicity, religious affiliation, marital status, income, those things, that's up to you. If there's a reason behind using those, you can add them. If there's not, then I would just omit them.
Yeah.
And then once you have that survey completed, you need to figure out how you're going to host it. Is it going to be on SurveyMonkey or Google Doc? How are people going to complete it? Because you need some sort of link to then send it out to people. And then once that is completely done, each of you is then responsible to at least get 20 participants to take it. So that is the goal. That's where we're heading.
Okay. I guess what my next question would be is, so you would recommend for the order to be that first survey, and then demographic questions, and then news source, or?
No, I would do demographic question first.
Okay.
And then news source, and then that.
Okay.
Demographic questions, like it's not intimidating. Someone asks you, you just kind of go, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if, the first question on your survey is, I like people I get to know, you might start overthinking, like, oh, what are they asking me?
Yeah. And then, okay. How many questions would you recommend that we have for our news?
That's up to you guys. If you just want it to be, I don't know what your hypothesis is specifically for that. Is it that it's the type of news source relates to optimism? Or more than that, is if they watch TV and it's from CNN, then they're going to be more optimistic or more pessimistic. Or if it's going to be social media and it's from Facebook, then it's going to be more pessimistic. That you guys need to decide. If it's just the type of news source, you could just have one question. If it's more than that, it's at the specific network or the specific social media site, then you need to have a few questions.
I think, I mean, we can talk about it on our own, but yeah, this makes sense for the most part.
Have you guys been able to get in touch with Elmar?
I have been, not really, just because I guess he's like in a different
Time zone, yeah.
Yeah, time zone.
Do you guys have each other's emails?
We do, but we
Yeah.
just recently made a group chat on Instagram because Elmar wasn't able to connect with us, like via like text message, just because he's in a different time zone.
Yes. Well,
as
that's what I was
well.
thinking. Email might be easier, but if
Yeah.
you've got an
I
Instagram group,
suggested, yeah, I suggested email a couple times, but I don't know why but I don't know. They didn't want to.
okay. As long as you guys are talking now, that's the biggest thing. I want to make sure you guys are each getting what you need out of this. Again, you're each responsible for your own writing, but when it comes to getting the survey information, you guys need to work as a group. And you got to lean on one another so you have enough participants to take the study.
Okay.
So really what I would focus on at this point is for the 4 of you to get together in some fashion to make sure that you've picked the correct survey that'll work for you and your group, and then start designing those demographic questions and news source question, and then put it together on a site where you can send out a link for somebody to complete it easily.
Yeah. I think our biggest focus, I think the demographic questions are very easy.
Mhm.
But us like coming together to make news sources, the news questions is going to be in part the most difficult part, but I feel like the most difficult part is going to be having Elmar present with when we talk about it, just because of the time zone difference.
We can make this real easy, guys. You each are responsible for one question for the news media source.
Okay.
It could be that simple. Like, so,
Yeah.
you know, Daniel, you're in charge of social media, asking the different questions, meaning which social media source. I mean, I don't think these are difficult questions at all. I don't want you guys to overcomplicate it. Be like, which news network do you get on TV? Do you get your news from? NBC, ABC, CNN, Fox, and public, I don't know, like you guys think it through if there's another one, right? And then same with social media. What are the source of social media? And then you can even do radio, talk radio, NPR, you know, podcasts. I don't know, is that social media?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm seeing 4 questions. What do you use the most? Social media, TV, radio, or other, newsprint? If it's TV, what are the networks? If it's social media, what are the networks? If it's newsprint, what is it? End of story.
Okay. Perfect.
You guys got this.
Yes. I feel like I can also kind of ask like what they watch the news for, or because I feel like the reasoning behind it can also be its own category.
Totally, but that is a qualitative question, not a quantitative question.
Okay.
As soon as you start asking why, then you go into asking an open-ended question. And for the sake of a survey, we can't really do that.
Okay.
Which is why we're not looking at causation. We're looking at the relationship between the two. What is the relationship between levels of optimism and their source of media, of news source?
Okay.
That's what we're asking. Is there a relationship with where they get the news and how optimistic they feel? We're not asking, why do you watch TV? Or why do you go to Facebook to get your news?
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess like some of the questions that I already put would be probably like useful when we're redoing it. But I know our time's almost up, so I'm gonna try to send you another email right now, and then when you're done with everything, if you can just let me know, like with the rest of the presentations, if you can just let me know if you have it.
Yeah, okay, so I want to make sure that you are emailing the right email. This is my email, and I'm gonna give you this one too. This is my personal email.
Okay.
So,
yeah, just every time I've like just tried responding to one of your emails from class, I guess it's just telling me that I don't know. But yeah, I'll get a hold of you about that.
yeah,
I guess.
And as soon as you send me that text, I think you texted me today, right? That is the quickest way too. So I always respond to text messages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just like my 12-year-old daughter. I'm quick on the text.
I do
All
have
right,
a
good
quick
luck, you guys.
question.
Please
I have a
let. Oh
quick
yeah,
question.
yeah.
Okay, so for the optimism scale, I see like some of the questions are more of like a general statement. Like I like people I get to know, the first one. Should the people that are taking our questionnaire think of these statements in relationship to the news or just
No,
in general?
because so your hypothesis is that where they get their news from will impact their level of optimism in general, not
Oh,
just
okay,
about the
okay.
news, right? So then you want this because the intent of this scale, and again, if you use a different one, it probably would be similar. It's just broad, general optimism. It's not specific to the news or the world. It's just
Okay.
how they view the world and how optimistically or pessimistically they view the world.
Okay, that makes sense.
Good question. Okay.
I think that's it. I don't have any more questions. So
All right.
I
All right.
appreciate you helping us out.
Of course, you guys got this. I know you guys were concerned. I was feeling worried for you guys too, but no, you're on the right path.
All right, cool.
Okay. All right. Have at it. I'm gonna go meet with you in 1 minute.
All
Okay.
right,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye, guys.